To the House.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. If I may, I'd like to express my personal sorrow at the death of Sir John Stanley this week. The House may not know that he was the first person to reach and to comfort the dying Airy Neave after Neave had been the victim of a bomb from the Irish National Liberation Army, a spin-off of the IRA. Sir John was also a highly effective member of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, a couple of weeks ago, I invited the House to join me in supporting our cricketers down under. That was the kiss of death. They instantly lost the first test. So I am thrilled, and I hope the House will join me in congratulating Joe Root on his majestic 100 in Australia in the present test. Madam Deputy Speaker, once again, the past 7 days have not been a thing of glory for the government. Not a single measure in the budget has been scored by the OBR as positive for growth, while the OECD and a host of other experts have warned that the Chancellor's tax rises last week will actually hold growth back. Except for 7 members, every member opposite voted in favour of keeping the two-child benefit cap in 2024. Last week, they voted in exactly the opposite way. Junior doctors will go on strike for the 3rd time this year in the run-up to Christmas. In fairness, though, I should say there has been one chink of light. The government has rightly dropped day one protections in the Employment Rights Bill. Madam Deputy Speaker, yesterday we were treated to the inglorious sight of the Prime Minister misusing the engagements question once again to make a party political broadcast at Prime Minister's questions. We do not have a presidential system in this country, thank the Lord, nor do we insist on a rigid uniformity of practice in this House. But if the Prime Minister wishes to make a statement to Parliament, he may do so in the usual way, giving notice to you, Madam, or to the Speaker, and taking questions from colleagues in this House on the policy. I therefore ask the Leader, as our spokesman in the Cabinet, to tell the House what he will do to stop this practice from recurring, and I am also asking Mr. Speaker to make clear in public that this will not be tolerated by the Chair in future. Madam Deputy Speaker, it was reported this week that the government will be drawing on German start-up companies to fill a supposed drone gap for the British Army. I'm sure the whole House will share my view that the UK should seek to offer a welcoming environment for foreign investment, and all the more after a budget which has done nothing to support economic growth. I also recognise the value of having leading international companies competitively involved in the testing and development of drones. But it is a serious concern that there appear to be no plans within the Ministry of Defence to provide strategic leadership, investment and support to start-up drones companies created, led and managed in this country. We have been, and by British nationals, we have been promised a defence investment plan. But ministers have been unable to say when this plan will be presented to the House. It looks as though they may be leaving it to the last full week of term, perhaps in order to avoid a proper measure of parliamentary scrutiny. Experience has repeatedly shown that in times of crisis, nations need to have core capabilities solidly based in UK-owned and led domestic manufacturing. That was one of the lessons of the pandemic. It's hard to imagine a more significant emerging defence need than that of high-quality, high-technology and cost-effective drones, and there are superb companies in this country ready to scale as needed. Last June, the Prime Minister called for what he termed a national conversation on defence. He made clear, rightly, that the defence of the realm was not just a matter for MOD, but the whole of our society, as well as the whole of government, needed to be mobilised into a better understanding of the threat. Since then, that threat has only become more serious. I'm delighted that the Prime Minister is in Lossiemouth today to make an announcement. But the sad fact is that he has said precisely nothing to lead that wider national conversation or raise awareness of the threat. Meanwhile, the public are uncertain as to the need and rationale for new spending, and key aspects of our defence and security readiness are, if anything, getting worse. So I ask the Leader if, at the very least, we can have a statement next week on what the government is planning to do to support the UK drones industry in filling this important strategic need.